Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to complete the last set of PYQs from number system, that is PYQs of prime number and HCF LCM. There are 6 PYQs and PYQs on prime numbers. I found they are quite little tricky, but practicing a lot of questions on these, mainly from last year previous year questions, are going to be way beneficial for you and going to give you a lot of confidence. Before starting this, again, if you have not done the PYQs on your own, one thing you can do is download this PDF from the Telegram channel, solve them on your own first, and then watch the video. Or other thing is you can just pause the video before the question, try to do them on your own, and then restart it to see the solution. Starting with this question number 10 of CSAT 2020. Here it is written, how many 5-digit prime number can be obtained by using all these digits without repetition? Right? Now, suppose they have asked you, use this digit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and make a 5-digit prime number. Means the number could be like this form: 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 2, 5. Or you can use in any form. In any form means 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 5, 4. You can use these digits and you have to make a 5-digit prime number. Repetition of the digit is not allowed, means you cannot use 1 2 times or 2 3 times. You can only use all the digits one time, make a 5-digit prime number, and now tell us how many such 5-digit prime numbers are possible. Right? How many such 5-digit prime number will be possible? Now, suppose example, you get these prime numbers, these numbers. Now tell me first one thing. Is first number a prime number? How can you say 4, 3, 1, 2, 5 is a prime number or not? Now you have to do the linkage from the last video where we did the divisibility rules. Just recall the divisibility rule of 5. If the number is ending by 5, then number is ending at 5, then it will be divisible by 5. So this complete number will be divisible by 5. It cannot be a prime number because prime number is not divisible by anything other than 1 and itself. If it is divisible by 5, that negates that rule that it has to be divisible by 1 and itself. So we'll say it cannot be a prime. Check out the second number. It is ending in 4. Can it be a prime number? Now recall the divisibility by 2. This number is divisible by 2. So if this number is divisible by 2, it cannot be a prime number. So in this way, check all the 5-digit prime numbers you can form, and now tell me how many 5-digit prime numbers are possible. Right? Now, how to do this question? So just check the option 1. If you check the option 1, there is 0 given, 1 given, 9 given and 10 given. So just think for a second, is this only 1 number possible, 9 number possible, 10 number possible? So this means obviously there is a limit on the numbers of such 5-digit number possible. It cannot be more than 10. It can only be either 9, 10, 1 or 0. Right? So this means that counting such numbers is surely possible. So one thing is clear, that there is a limit on such number possible. Now second thing. Now first tell me, if you form a number using these 5 digits, suppose I take these 5 digits A, B, C, D, E. Right? Suppose I take these 5 digits and put it in any form, A, B, C, D, E. Now, what will be the sum of digit in this form? Of any such number, what will be the sum of digit? That will be A plus B plus C plus D plus E. Means A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you do the summation here, you will find the sum of digits you will get in any such number as 15. Sum of digits is 15. So now recall that some divisibility rule of 33. if the sum of digits is divisible by 3, that number is also divisible by 3. So any such number of form A, B, C, D, E is divisible by 3. So it cannot be prime number in any case. If it cannot be a prime number, means take any 5-digit number using these 5 digits, that number will give us a sum of digit as 15. Since 15 is divisible by 3, so any such number will be divisible by 3. So there is no such number that is possible, which is 5-digit prime number and all 5-digit as well as a prime number. So no such prime number exists. Tricky question, but very cleverly put and good question. It uses the concept of prime number and the divisibility rule of 3. Now moving on. A simple math operation in each number of the sequence result in a sequence of a prime numbers. Which of the following numbers is next in the sequence? They have given you 14, 18, 20, 24, 30, 32 and so on. They have told you if you do one operation you can do on each of these numbers. So take 14, do something on that number, then you will get a prime number. Take 18, do some operation on that number, and then that will give you a prime number. So that operation you are doing has to be the same. This does not means one operation you are doing on 14, it cannot be different from other operation you are doing on 18. So all this number you have to do something on these numbers which will give you some prime numbers, right? Now what operation that could be? If you see right now, in the last video I told you only have to remember the prime numbers from 1 to 100. If you know that, you will clearly see that 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, so on are the prime numbers, right? So this means if you minus 1 from all these numbers, you will get similar series 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31. Then what is the next number after this? 37, right? 37 and so on. So they're just telling you this is the series. On this you have done an operation, and if after doing the operation you will find this is just a series of prime number, right? So if you are getting 37, to find this number what you are going to do? You are going to do the plus 1 to get that number back. So 37 plus 1 is 38. So 38 is the answer, right? In this question, that is why I told you they have given you that simple operation on these numbers result in a sequence with respect to prime numbers. So to know this series of prime numbers, you should know by heart the prime numbers from 1 to 100. This is the first question where 1 to 100 prime numbers are used. I will show you another question where this knowing 1 to 100 prime numbers is very beneficial. Now moving second question. This is the question. Now I hope you remember from the last class where we did question and statement, right? Now this is a question. Again, just to give you from the last class. Suppose 3 countries, Pakistan, India and Sri Lanka, right? Pakistan, India and Sri Lanka. Suppose I will give you, is Pakistan, India and Sri Lanka 3 neighboring countries? One thing. Statement 1 I will give you, Pakistan and India are neighbors. Statement 2 I give you, Pakistan and statement 2 I give you, India and Sri Lanka are neighbors. So now using 1, can you tell these 3 are neighbors? No. You have to know that India and Sri Lanka are also neighbors to come to this conclusion. So that is why statement 1 and statement 2 both are necessary. Suppose instead of this I write to you that Pakistan and India are neighbors, but India and Sri Lanka are not neighbors, and Sri Lanka is also near USA, which is very far from India, right? Now suppose first thing, Pakistan and India are neighbors, so that will give you half idea that Pakistan and India are somewhere close. From the statement 2, you will get India is nowhere close to Sri Lanka. Suppose this is a hypothetical situation. India is nowhere close to Sri Lanka. So using statement 2, we find that this is not at all possible. So there is no way that these two statements can give us an idea that these three countries are together. So this is how the statement and the conclusion statement question works. Now let's read the question. Two statements given to you. So this is the question, this is the statement part, and these are the options. Statement 1 is sufficient to answer the question. So they have given you a question. Let's see the question first. N is a unique natural number between 10 to 20. So between 10 to 20, it's a unique natural number. Means it could be any of the natural numbers between 10 to 20. What all natural numbers are there between 10 to 20? 11, 12, 13, 14, up to 19. So first thing, remember the first class of natural numbers basic, number system basic. This is where the natural number definition comes in handy. So now we know there are total of 9 numbers which are between natural number between 10 and 20. Now statement 1. So now we have to find which number is that, which is one of the numbers. They ask you now to find that which one number is there. Now let's read statement number 1. N is a prime number between 10 to 20. What are the prime numbers there? 11, 13, 17, 19. So N could be 11, 13, 17, 19. Right? Now coming to the second part. This is statement number 1. Statement number 2. N leaves a remainder of 1 when divided by 4. Means when it is divisible by 4, it leaves a remainder of 1. So how many such numbers are possible? I know 13 is there because when you divide it by 4, this is 4, 3 are 12 plus 1. It leaves a remainder of 1. And what other number is possible? 13 plus 17 is another number where 4 into 4, 16 plus 1, 17 is also there. Means, and that's all. So this now you have to be very attentive here. So from the first series we found that 11, 13, 17 and 19, 11, 13, 17, 19 are the numbers which are natural prime numbers. Second, 13 and 17 are the numbers which are coming from statement 2. Now the question is, give me that one unique number. N is only one number, no more than one number. Now which all numbers are possible? N could be 13 because 13 is coming from both, or N could be 17. So 13 and 17 are two numbers which N could take. So using these two statements, using both of these statements, we are still not able to conclude or find that one value of N. We have found two values of N, but we are not able to find that one unique value of N. So even using statement 1 and 2, we are not able to get to an answer, right? So if you check the answer options, statement 1 is sufficient to answer the question. No, because that will give us 4 options. No way, not possible to find a value of N. Statement 2 is alone again. Statement 1 and 2 are together sufficient to answer a question. Even using 1 and 2, we are not able to find the unique value of N. So even this is also wrong. So the answer is number 4. That using even both of them together, we are not able to come to any answer or value of N. I hope this is clear. Using solving these questions will give you a better idea what the demand of the question and how to solve this statement question form of questions, conclusion form of questions, statement and conclusion, right? I hope this is clear. Now they have given you 3 1 by 2. What is the greatest length x such that these are integral multiple of x? These are integral multiple of x. Now to make you understand, let's take an example. 12. What are the factors of 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Now taking another one, suppose I take as 18. 18 is 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18. Now, when I told you what is the HCF, what I told you is the HCF. What will be the HCF? 1 and 1 is common, 2 common, 3 common, and that's all. Oh, 6 is also common. So 6 is the highest common factor. HCF is highest common factor. Highest common factor. So 6 is such a number. 6 is the greatest of all the factors which are, so the 12 and 18 are multiple of 6. You understand? And meaning that 6 is the highest such a number, highest factor possible, which when multiplied with some other numbers give me 12 and 18. Means 12 and 18 are multiple of 6. Integral multiple of 6. You understand? That 6 into 2 is 12. 6 into 3 is 18. So I have to find HCF in such a case. Sorry for that. I have to find HCF where that HCF when 12 and 18 becomes an integral multiple of that HCF. Now, coming to this question. They're telling you that for 3 1 by 2 and 8 3 by 4, there is some number which is a common factor in both of these cases, greatest length which is of both those cases, and 3 1 by 2 and 8 3 by 4 is multiple of this x. Is multiple of this x. So do we not need to find HCF of this number? HCF of these number 3 1 by 2 and 8 3 by 4. Now again, just compare, rewind this video. Again, compare it with an example of 24 and 18. There we did was 24 and 18. Sorry, not 24, I guess it was 12. Just now we did 12 and 18. We find that 6 and 6 was the highest number, where that 12 and 18 are the multiple of that highest number. Here again, we have to find the HCF of these two numbers. I will just remove this. Now we know that we have to find the HCF of these two numbers. Now, I will tell you, and I will explain to you how to do a mixed fraction. 3 1 by 2. If this is given to you and you have to convert it into a simple fraction, what you are going to do? Multiply these two, then add this one. Multiply these two and add 1. So 3 to the 6 plus 1, that will be 7. 7 and leave it divided by the same 2. This part. I hope this is clear. Now 8 3 by 4. Now what you are going to do? You multiply 8 by 4, then add this 3. 8 into 4 plus 3. So 8 for the 32. 8 for the 32 plus 3, 35 by 4. So we have got 7 by 2 and 35 by 4. 7 by 2 and 35 by 4. So 3 1 by 2 and 8 3 by 4 has been converted to 7 by 2 and 35 by 4. This part is clear. How to do the convert the mixed fraction into a simple fraction? Now you have to find the HCF of 7 by 2 and 35 by 4. Now if you go back and watch the last video, you will find that if you have to find, then you have to find the HCF of 7 and 35 and LCM of 2 and 4. So I will make it quick. HCF of 7 and 35 is 7. LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. So you will get an answer of 7 by 4. I hope this is clear. 7 by 4. Now answer is again given into a mixed fraction. Now converting a normal fraction to a mixed fraction, what we have to do? Answer is 7 by 4. So now if 7 by 4, but 7 by 4 is not given to you in the option, what you are going to do? You have to convert 7 by 4 into a mixed fraction. How? Put 7 here, 4 here, 4 ones are 4, you will get 3. Right? 4, 3. Now what you are going to do? How do you get it? You will write this first, 1, 3 by 4. I hope this is clear. 1, 3 by 4. So to convert mix to normal, I told you. Now that to convert normal to mix, this is how you do. You write quotient, then remainder divided by 4. Right? So 13 by 4 is the answer. So that is the answer number D. If you have any doubt, post in the comments, or you can rewatch this video. We have learned, rewatch this question. We have learned a number of concepts. First thing we learned how to convert mix to normal and also normal to mix. Second thing, what they are asking for, they are asking for a HCF in this exam, this question. Why? We understood that by taking example of 12 and 18. Now moving on. This question, let's make it quick, simple question. Sunita cut paper into 3 pieces. See, don't get disheartened by a long question. Longer question are easier because they give you a lot of things in the question itself that will be easy to solve for you. So Sunita cut a paper into 3 pieces. So I have 3 pieces. Right? So these 3 pieces are of different length. Length of first piece is equal to average of 3 single digit odd prime numbers. Single digit odd prime numbers. So single digit odd prime numbers, which all prime numbers are single digit? 2, 3, 5, 7, right? Single digit odd prime number, but 2 is not an odd, so 2 is not the answer. So now that length of first piece is equal to average of 3 single digit odd prime numbers. Which all single digit odd prime numbers are? 3, 5, 7. What is the average of this? 3 plus 5 plus 7 by average 3. This is what we are going to learn in the arithmetic. But remember, this is sum of numbers divided by how many numbers are there. So 3 plus 5 plus 7 divided by 3. That will give you 15 by 3. So the 5 is the value of first. Second, length of second piece is equal to the first, means let's take this is value A. So length of second piece is A plus 1/3 first, that is the length of first plus 1/3 the length of, suppose the length of second is B and third is C. So this is C. 1/3 the length of C is equal to B. I hope you understand that it is equal to first plus 1/3 of third is equal to B. Third piece is as long as other two pieces together. So C is equal to A plus B. I hope this is clear. C is equal to A plus B. This means as long as other two pieces together. So now I will remove this part. Now we have got two equations, that A plus C by 3 is B and C is equal to A plus B. Now put A is 5, B is equal to 5 plus C by 3, and we got B is equal to, B plus 5 is equal to C. B is also equal to C minus 5. Now comparing this equation with this equation, you can just compare them, that B is equal to 5 plus C by 3 equal to C minus 5. So solving this, you will just simply solve this. This is what we are going to learn in the algebra. So just solving this, C minus C by 3 is equal to 5 plus 5. So it will give you 2 by 3C is equal to 10. So C is coming out to be, C will come out to be 10 into 3 by 2. So C is 15. So C is 15. To find B, you can use this equation. B will come out to be 10. So now you will get the A is 5, B is 10, C is 15. So you will get this value. Don't worry, we are going to learn averages in algebra and solving such an equation in, arithmetic, averages in arithmetic and solving such an equation in algebra. Right? This question is easy. Why did I do this question? Because I wanted to show you that how many times this knowing prime numbers from 1 to 100 is very important. Right? Now moving on. This is, I hope this is the last question of prime numbers and HCF LCM, as well as the last PYQ of number system. Now let's start. Again, statement is given. Now they told you, is P into Q means the product of two numbers odd. This means is P and Q product is odd. Now to make a product odd, you need odd number multiply by odd number, then only you will get an odd number. If odd is multiplied by even, you will get an even number. If even number is multiplied by odd, you will again get an even number. If you need even multiply by even, you will get an even. If you want, you can write it in your notes. This is the table. Means when odd is multiplied by an odd number, then only you will get the final result at odd. In all other cases, you will get an even value in the end. Now I will just remove this. I hope you have written this, otherwise you can rewind it and just write it. Now, if product of two numbers has to be odd, then P has to be an odd number, Q also has to be an odd number. Now, consider two statements. Statement 1 is P and Q both are prime numbers. If P and Q both are prime numbers. Now, if suppose P and Q is any number, suppose I take 3 and 5. Yes, 3 and 5 is 15. So the answer is correct. So take any prime number, multiply those two prime numbers, and you will get an odd result. Yes, in all the cases, except in case of 2. Because 2 is only number which is going to create a problem. P could be 2, Q could be 2, because 2 is also a prime number, and P and Q can both be true. So it's only because of 2 this statement is not true, right? That P, if they have given you P and Q both are prime numbers greater than 2, then using this statement alone we would have concluded that P into Q is an odd. But because 2 is there, this statement cannot be proven that P and Q is an odd, will give us odd result. I hope this is clear. Now, second part, P plus Q is a odd integer. Now again, as I have given you on one table there, I will give another table here. Odd plus odd is even. Odd plus even is odd. Even plus odd is odd. And even plus even is even. Just write this down in your copy, that odd plus odd is even. Odd plus even is odd. Even plus odd is odd. But even plus even is even. Right? Now, P plus Q is odd. Which all values possible? These two possible. Means one number has to be odd. One number has to be odd. And other number has to be even. One number has to be odd and other number has to be even. But if such a case is possible, can P into Q be odd? No, this cannot be odd. Why? First thing, for P into Q to be odd, we need P odd, Q odd. One thing is clear. But from our conclusion of P plus Q is odd, we find that one is odd and one is even, which is totally opposite to what we need in the question. So that is why even statement 2 is not able to give us a satisfactory answer that P is P and Q multiplication and odd integer. So both the statement together are not sufficient to answer the question. I hope this is clear. And that completes our number system. Just doing a quick review of what we have done. In the first question, the divisibility rule was needed. That sum of digits we have find that sum of digits is divisible by 3. So no such number can exist. In this question, we find a sequence. That is why you have to know by heart the prime numbers from 1 to 100 to find such a pattern. In this question, we were not able to find only one value of n. We were able to find two values of n, but since the question has asked unique value of n, not possible. In this question, first thing we have found that we need to find HCF. Then we also did normal to mixed and mixed to normal. In this question, very easy. This is just a small calculation involved. Otherwise, if you do this is just basic mathematics of class 8 and 9. Just the only thing you have to know is the three single digit odd prime number. And in this last question, where I told you that P into Q to give an answer as odd, you need P odd and Q odd, which was not possible from any of these cases. Statement 1, because 2 was there, that was creating the problem. In statement 2, not possible because P was coming out to be odd, Q was coming out to be even, so again not possible. So this completes our number system topic. From next class onwards, we are going to do we are starting with the topic algebra, and also once algebra is done and arithmetic is done, after doing these three topics, I am planning to do a quick crash course of these topics just to give you a quick review of what we have done in these topics. Doing them now does not make any sense because these have just 5 videos, but after we have like 5 and 515 videos, we'll do a quick review video of just doing a quick recap of what we have done, and also we are going to pick the remaining questions which were left here and there of CSAT 2019 and CSAT 2020 paper. And that completes number system. Thank you for watching the video and best of luck.